So there are timestamps in case you want to just skip forward in the video to the actual training, but I did want to talk about a few things. The first, of course, being the things coming up, aside from the new banner that is out, but I did want to transition to talking about the Legend Race, which is something that's going to happen. For those who don't know, essentially this is an event-type race in which you can basically get, well, we'll explain it right here. So you get goodies, and then you get also star pieces for the girls that you're racing against. So in this case, there's El Condor Pasa, Special Week according to the time here, and Simply Rudolph. Not really much else to say there. That's what happens there. Also, excuse the ratio, because when you're playing this on basically PC, then things do not appear as they seem. But the other things I wanted to talk about is, yeah, the main purpose of this video, if the thumbnail didn't already show, is that I'm trying to do the event quest. So 5 support card characters at once in career. I tried doing 6 speed, I tried doing 5 speed and a trainer, and that didn't work out as much. So a little quick review here, just in case you want to see, and also see how bad I've transferred a few, but obviously I haven't had a lot of successes because these Super Creek and Gold Chip were my last 2 URA champion. So this is I think this is the Bakshino that I just trained. So yeah, I went with 5. I'm going to be going with 5 speed, 1 trainer again, because otherwise all I have is rares, and I feel like gambling on Aoi rather than the other rare speed card I have, but yeah, that's that. So, as we get into this here, I think I borrowed a card as well. I'm going to keep the card borrowed for this purposes of, I was looking for a specialty price. Oh, that's something, one more thing before I move on. So another way to look for people to follow is to essentially hit the information here. I might as well just show it. Go to whatever class you're in. You might be still in class 1, or especially if you're starting out, you're in class 1. But essentially just go through this list. Anyone below the 50th place is pretty much likely to still have follows left. So you click on them. You just click on anyone random, and you click on I again next to the trainer here, and then you have follows. And of course, it depends on whether you're looking for a guest Uma Musume or a career support card to borrow, but you get the point. And if you want to be a gentleman about it, you can go into your friends list and unfollow them after you start the training. So I'll let you know that when that is possible, when I get through the training. So without further ado here, let's just get into the training, because I'm just trying to get it. I think just going for Sakura Bakshino is best for me, at least. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe veteran trainers will say something different. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just going to go for this. I am not looking for stamina, because the PC remembers my last filter. I do have mobile, because again, I'm playing on mobile in case I want to do other stuff. Was it Tokai Teo? I think I was trying to borrow Tokai Teo, but we already have a Tokai Teo, so instead we'll switch over to another, someone who's not Tokai Teo, and away we go. So after this, again, if I had followed someone, what I like to do is just unfollow right after starting career. That way someone else can use the card. Now, that sounds like, that sounds polite and whatnot, but obviously some people, if you want to just stay followed, then go ahead. It's to the other person, the person being followed's discretion to have you unfollow, to forcefully remove you from their followers list, if that makes any sense. But again, this is just how I do things. So if I find someone that who's guest I want to use, or for inspiration sparks, or if I find a support card, then I usually end up unfollowing shortly after starting training. So here in training, again, you can go down to the menu here, and then save and exit, and then you go to your friends list and unfollow. That's what I usually do. You don't have to do things that way. Again, you do what you're comfortable with, and yeah, that's great. So yeah, otherwise we're just trying to train with 5 supports at once. Is it? Yeah, 5 supports. It doesn't have to be 6, just needs to be 5. Is 5 the max value? Anywho, or the maximum number? But either way, also I did make some erroneous statements in my previous videos, because again, I'm still learning. That's not really an excuse. I'm just saying that I did things wrong. Also, we do have a 2. I'm gonna look for a 3, so we'll recreation again. Don't give me karaoke, give me a walk or something, please. Or a shrine visit, as the game decides to pause here. Nope, we got karaoke. But, so I said late starts are apparently just random, so that's one thing. And then there are other things as well, but I don't remember them anymore, as I'm trying to focus on bond training. Essentially to force more specialty training. Now, we didn't find anything, but I think I'll do so. Never mind, we'll go for bonds. If stamina training had 2 supports there, I would have taken it. I like to take the weaker ones early. I think, yeah, when I showed you the previous Sakura Bakshino that I did, I got near 1200 speed, but I didn't get 1200 speed, so that made me really sad. You still have a chance of getting 3-star with 600 to 1200 speed in between, but you have, I think it's a 10% chance. I don't remember the exact value. 10% chance of getting the 3-star inheritance if it rolls on speed. It doesn't have to roll on speed. You could just get anything else, any other stat instead. But again, you might as well increase the odds if you can reliably hit it. I can't, but it would be nice to hit 1200 speed and win URA champion, which I didn't do anyway, so... Did I? No. Yeah, no, I think I didn't. Oh my goodness, I can't even read my own numbers. Anywho, we'll keep going speed here. Again, we're just trying to grind the event mission because that would be nice to do. And then afterwards, I'm probably just going to concentrate on doing the legend race. I really should have written down what I needed to do, but we're here recording this run anyway, so it's fine for the moment. I will end up using energy recovery items, but that's to be expected. Also, not really much to hide. You can't really hide anyway. If someone finds your profile, they know, they can essentially see how your training has gone. And mine has not gone well. So as you saw my list of veteran Musume, so... Also, yes, I am kind of shifting in between different vocab for calling Musume. I don't know which is it. Musume slides off the tongue, but Umasume sounds better to me. And then Musume is too many syllables, so... Anywho, let's see, I don't remember Sakurabakushi No's events at all. Even though, I mean, I felt like that was going to be a hint for that type, Nakayama race course, but you get the point, I think. I should do a lot more Sakurabakushi No, but because I can essentially rotate her into my inspiration loop. I think my inspiration loop is currently El Condor Pasa, Makatsi Kun, I forgot, I can't say her name, Agnes Tachyon, and then Vodka, and then those two, and then it has to be in a specific combination as well, so I think it's specifically El Condor Pasa and Agnes Tachyon are the primary direct inspirations for Simply Rudolph, and then the other two, I can't remember her name, I'm not a real fan, but, and then that with her with Vodka goes into Super Creek, and then Super Creek and Simply Rudolph are direct into Gold Ship. And then I kind of just loop based on what I need. So at that point, probably Gold Ship and then Sakurabakushi No. If the aptitude is okay, back into the second sub legacies, El Condor Pasa, Agnes Tachyon, Vodka, and the name I can never remember. If I had to guess, Machikane? Oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. I can just look it up right here as I'm just sitting here looking at Sakurabakushi No train, so let's find out. Oh my goodness, I guess what's training. So if I go over here, oh my goodness, where'd my mouse go? Pain. Well, I'll be looking for that during this training, funny enough. Oh goodness. And if nothing else, so another thing I want to say, I mean, I could make a separate video, but I could just say it here too. So basically, if you didn't see what my carrots were, I'm still kind of far away from, I am far away from 30,000 carrots. So if I don't get 30,000 carrots, I will kind of just Batsu myself, or set up a little Batsu game, in that if I don't draw at least 2 copies of Kita-san Black, if and when that banner appears... Oh my goodness, I guess we can't, I don't even want to rest here. Can I go race instead? Probably should just race instead. Sprint, please. We'll need the fans anyway. I usually find myself short on fans. If I add more fan bonus... in general, the passive from my support cards, then it would be fine, but it's not. Where is this mouse? What is going on here? Why? Did this freeze? What's going on? Oh my goodness. I'm looking at a certain setup, and I'm looking at how sad I am. Oh, it did freeze. Well, hey. That's unfortunate. I wonder why it froze. So, for those who don't know, just really quickly, off to the side, I do have 2 setups, one for different purposes. So, if I'm recording a certain type of game, I'll use another setup. If I'm recording Musume here, I can use the setup I do here. This is the setup I normally use for Musume and the other game that I mainly play on this channel. So, yeah, so I'm looking at my other setup. I'm getting really sad because it seems like it froze. So... I guess I'm also going to be restarting this setup while I am sitting here. Can I rest here? No, we can't. I guess I can race again. These aren't a lot of fans, but it'll be good enough to put me out of the goal that I need to do, I think? Question mark? We're going to find out. I didn't see any training I particularly like, so in another way, I am gambling on my future turns to do something else. Yeah, we have to do this. So I'm gonna do this while my left hand is not my dominant hand. So that's the hand I'm using to control Uma Musume right now, as I'm restarting the setup with my other hand. Oh goodness, what a weird recording I do. This is particularly what I mean when I'm doing a stream-like video. So anything that happens during, unless something really weird happens, then I'll edit it, and then it won't be a stream-like video anymore. But hey, things happen. So as we sit here, oh, I think I know why. I know why things. Yeah, okay. I think I do. Anywho, I think I know why this setup crashed. Anywho, yeah, this is a weird Uma Musume video. I was gonna talk about something else. I don't think there's really anything. We could grab something. We shouldn't need to. Also, I think I'm still on Pace Chaser style, and you want to if not always, almost always put Sakura Bakushin for the purposes of early prog, as I'm calling it. Put her on front runner. Watch me actually not get first. Okay, I was about to say. But anywho. So, as we move into the... I mean, I could just be quiet for the next timestamp, but it's fine for the moment. We'll be quiet here now. Allows me to think, because I was going to say something. But, as we move into the Spring Series race, yeah, we're looking for the 5 training. I should be looking every turn, you never know. But with low energy, man, do I really not want to gamble? That's something I could talk about. My odds, I mean, you're gonna fail like a 5 to 10% failure rate eventually if you keep risking it. But I think this counts, right? That counts. Yeah, I'm clapping to myself. But if you're training with the headmaster and or the reporter, it doesn't count. So they actually need to be your support cards to count. So we do want a little bit. I think I want everything to be higher, but obviously, you know, if the stats don't allow it, they don't allow, or your support cards don't allow it, they don't allow it. Which is the case for a lot of rare support cards, because while their passives are good, mainly you want to uncap them, which is not the case. I think, oh, I could have shown you that, but I'll tell you right now, because I can show you in a future video. Anyway, so if you didn't notice, the banners kind of switched around, and so now every day you have a free pull on the Spotlight support card banner, I believe, and I pulled a rare Simbly Rudolph, so here's hoping. I did do that to myself, though, so what I mean by that is we're gonna look for a race. What I mean by that, as I restart this setup over here, is that at the very beginning, I think I showed you too on the very first Hara Urara. If I didn't, I'm telling you now. I only did 10 scouts on the support banner, the beginner support banner, and then I think I did 10 on the Spotlight Uma Musume, and then 10 on the beginner support. Beginner Uma Musume. So essentially, I scouted Uma Musume 20 times. I might have used a ticket on both types, a support card ticket and a banner ticket or Uma Musume ticket, and then I only pulled 10 support cards from the scout, which is not what you should do. You should definitely be scouting more on the support card banners than the Uma Musume. At least if you're trying to be kind of stable. If you know what you're doing, do whatever you want. If you're following another trainer's advice or the guide, you do you. They're probably right, because I'm by far not a veteran trainer. We do need some stamina, by the way, but I'm not going to gamble on 25%. So moving into failure rates is what I actually wanted to continue on, is that I failed like 2 10%, and then I failed a 4% as well. So that being said, in those training sessions, I was gambling a lot. So I was doing a lot of 20% failure rates, 15%, 5%, 7%. You get the point. I was going to fail one of those eventually. Do I just take the risk here? I'm just going to take the risk. Usually I go for Charm. That has a higher success rate. But hey! We got the recording in which I got that. I mean, it's not the biggest stat if you've already set up with support cards and resources, but that's a lot for me. And watch me still lose, by the way. But at least, if nothing else, it gets me closer to 1200 speed. That's kind of the goal here. Getting URA champ will help out as well. Although, also, I think the previous Sakura Bakushin... Oh, wait, no, I think that was that a URA? Because I know I went to the hot spring with Sakura Bakushin no. I mean, I could check the epitaph, but I'm pretty sure I did. So, anywho. Yeah, moving on. Not really much else to say. I'm not going to gamble a lot here, aside from that acupuncture, but... Aside from that, I mean, I hope I don't get a tissue in the raffle, but I'd rather get a tissue in the raffle and succeed acupuncture than fail acupuncture and Well, no, that's not true. Hot springs are important too. But anywho, let's see here. We have nothing. And I think I'm just going to race again. I really shouldn't race at all, really, here. Can we even? I would like to go into a sprint. Could go into a mile, but I guess we'll just take rainbow training instead. So, I was going to say something, and I forgot what I was talking about. That's frequent on this channel, by the way. If you're new to this channel, and this is your first video you watch by me, yeah. At this point, if Future Jordan remembers, please put it in the card about the Kita-san Black. Other people have gone over it as well. I just wanted to do it for myself, if for no other reason than to learn. And if nothing else, it puts into perspective the current speed cards we have right now, which helps me out to think, hey, I would perchance like to help you. That would be great. You might hear a clickety-clack here as I restart this setup over here. But, anywho, let's continue moving on. I really shouldn't. Actually, I should just wait here as we go power. We also still need stamina, so that's kind of important. But, oh, please. I think I did that right. Anywho. So, we should be using skill points here. Probably going to do that. Where did I get that from? Anywho, we'll take it because gold skills are great. In general, gold skills are a lot more effective, usually, than the white skills. And especially the white skills that they're upgraded from. There are a few that apparently you don't take at all. I don't remember exactly some of their names. I think one of them is Iron Will. But I forgot if that's been translated. I think it has been translated, but there's a reason you don't take some of them, and they have a lot of it has to do with their actual effects and or their proc conditions, which puts them in a not great situation. I'm not saying they're completely worthless. I don't think I'll say that in this case, but yeah, I can see why when I looked at the skills, why they were the way they were. Now, there are still questions, and a lot of times it's speculation, but it's educated speculation. What I mean by that is someone has gone in and done like many races with as controlled variables as possible to see the effects of, say, skills, stat builds, so on and so forth. Do I want to just do this, by the way? Don't I still have bonds I need to do? Kind of, but not really. Although I want to build some more stamina and see. I think I actually had quite a bit of stamina, but I don't remember. I was just looking at it at the beginning of the video, so I'm really sad. Also, you know what I didn't do? I should have rested here, but we can go for wits as well. We do need that. But, yeah, unless we get like a really good speed training, I guess we don't have to speed training. We can just keep doing wits. Although, at the same time, it would be a lot of speed. I could do 2 speed right now. I think the second one would be a risk, but we didn't get friendship training, so more wits. Could have gone for something else instead. I really should have, actually, but hey. I don't remember. I know carry logs as power, question mark? I mean, we'll take it. Otherwise, yeah, we'll do at least 1 speed training, especially with double friendship training, so... I got it wrong, by the way. I'm just trying to do a thing. Oh my goodness, please. I don't think I typed it right. Oh goodness. I also just saw something and I wasn't looking. So I guess we're gonna find out. We lost mood, I think, but we can Aoi here. Okay. Clickety-clack the keyboard. So, yeah, I like Aoi just for safety reasons, but obviously as I proceed through and progress through Musume, I won't really be using Aoi as much, especially if it's a non-URA scenario that asks for another scenario bonus or scenario link and whatnot. But again, that depends on the needs. I guess I'll see when it happens. Did I really not do that right? I guess I'm about to find out. I'm looking at this other setup being really sad, so... Also would have liked to win first, but weird things can happen. People have reported basically that, you know, they're way outstatting their rivals, and they still sometimes get second or third, which is not what you want. First does add quite a bit of a bonus to your race goodies at the end. But, especially if it's a G1 race or you're trying to grind for inspirations. I guess I can talk about that a little bit, but I haven't been looking at that because obviously I'm not at that point yet. But essentially, for those who don't know, if I were to try to explain it, so you see these inspirations here. I guess we can try to check really quickly. No, we can't. But some of your inspiration sparks, so you get you get the stat and then you get a style aptitude. But underneath that there are white sparks. I guess we'll call it sparks because the game's calling them sparks. There are white sparks, and some of them are skills, and some of them are actually races that I think you need to win to get them. And the level of stars, whether they're 1, 2, or 3, I think is completely random. But you need to win the races. And if you don't need to win the races, I'm pretty sure it helps out. If it doesn't, then, well, I guess I'm going to learn. But yeah, here we are just doing speed. We are nearing the end of this training, funny enough, but as it turns out, when you're not watching the races, even if you're skipping to the last spurt, it turns out that you save a lot of time in training, which is good. As from a game design perspective, you obviously, if you're having people grind mode or something, you do want to allow players to speed things up. That's quality of life that's really necessary. Now, as for the carrot economy, something that I would also like to at least add to, I guess I could say I was incorrect in saying it, but yes, you don't actually need $420 USD to 200 to get a copy of a card that you want. But one of those things is, yeah, that was only one copy of the card to guarantee, because you could pull one to, you know, a lot during the course. In this case, we'll use the example of Kita-san Black. I am kind of autopiloting here, so if I do something on accident, I do it on accident. But say you're pulling on Kita-san Black and you need 200 scouts to exchange, so you know you're going to get 1 in the exchange, but you don't know if you're going to get anywhere from 1 to 4, and I go over these odds in my, or at least I go over the odds of pulling 4 in 200 scouts, because the assumption was that you get your 5th copy to max limit break or max uncap from the exchange. So, and I think your odds are basically around 5% to get 4 copies on top of exchange, if you can exchange. If you can't exchange and you're just off by 199, it's pretty rough still. That's why you're going all or nothing. Well, when people say all or nothing, I think they mean trying to max limit break, but when I say all or nothing, I mean 200 scouts, at least for unfortunates and or free-to-plays. Unfortunates, I mean you have really, really bad luck, so unless you are pretty much whaling, you are... like, when you're really unlucky, you pull 1,000, I think? 1,000 scouts to exchange 5 times, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but hey. So around this is, I think, the bare minimum to pass URA championships, but you will likely have to clock. I'm not planning to clock this run, because I only have, like, sub 10 clocks left, so, or under 10 clocks. When I say sub, I usually, that's my phrase for I have under this amount, or there's under this amount, but you get the point. I don't have a lot of clocks. You actually do get a good number of clocks, especially if you buy them from the daily sale over the course of, well, days, but yeah, I just use a lot of them. Or I did use a lot of them, and a lot of them were actually not for good reasons. Like, there were some very unsmart clocks, basically. Again, I'm still getting back into the groove of Musume. Not that I was really in the groove. If you even saw any of my videos that I think are still on this channel, they're not great. But as we near the end here, never mind, we're going through another whole year, kind of. Actually, no, this is April. Yeah, this is April. So we have a good 6-7 months left. Again, for trainers not as much in the know, while the goals may change in duration in between each, you are still going through basically the junior year, then you're going through the classic and senior year, so 2 full years of turns. So like about 50, 60 turns, I think. I don't remember the exact number, but we can go for this. Also, really quick addendum to my own Kita-san Black video is that when I talk about getting 99 plus speed, 60 plus power, that is a possibility, but you do want like a good spread of support cards. And usually it's like I think at minimum 4 to 5 speed cards. You can I don't doubt that you can do more than that, but 24%, let's go for it. Okay, good. I was about to say, did I fail? I think if you always see the friendship training spark, you succeed. I don't know if I'm correct about that though, because I have not paid attention enough to know. But we definitely need to rest this time. Good Aoi, but there's not really a reason to... I guess we can. I don't remember if energy is a guarantee, but I think it's just, yeah, skill points and stat specifically. I think it's been figured out. I could just look at resources online and tell what happens from those events. But again, there are a lot of events to remember anyway, and if you've seen me playing the other game, I don't even remember up to 100 events, so that doesn't bode well for me remembering Musume. Unless I obviously have notes in front of me, but that's a completely different story. So yeah, if nothing else, we'll definitely watch the final race, the URA Finals race. Otherwise, if I fail during the middle, maybe I'll clock once and then watch the race, but after that, don't want to take up too much more of your time. Everyone knows what a Sakura Bakushin O race training session looks like, for the most part. And if you're wondering what a Sakura Bakushin O training session looks like, yeah, it's like 4 to 5 speed cards, and then insert power, or whatever you want. Sometimes people go wits, sometimes people go otherwise, and if you're doing very specific builds, you're doing a very specific build, like Guts or something like that. So, yeah. And again, the reason why, so I wouldn't say get stuck on the notion of ignoring Guts all the time, because there will be a point in global server, unless something really weird happens and the game goes away, you will want Guts at some point. I think people are even making Guts builds now, but I haven't found an exact evidence to prove that. I did say I wanted more stamina, but not like this. So instead, we're just gonna wits and look for speed. If I want to be really risky, I could go for 3 speed. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can get 4 speed, at least with the kind of support cards that I'm running, but I don't know that for sure. I might have to do a wits training, but if I see like 50, 60 plus speed, 18%. Okay, good. And off we go. So that's why the kind of training you're seeing here is why Sakura Bakushin O can be so efficient. I know I may have said it before, I'll say it again here though, but because you're doing mostly speed training, you're getting pretty much the only 2 stats that you want to be high. And since Sakura Bakushin O is mostly in sprint or short distance races, stamina is not as much of an issue. However, for the purposes of PvP, I think you do want your stamina pretty much like somewhat higher than this, 400 to 500 stamina, because of the URA scenario difficulty setting for making things easier for you. But again, that's for when you are consistently winning URA champion. So, as I mentioned before, I'll stop calling this series, or I'll move on to another name for this series, or quote-unquote end the early Prog series when I consistently win URA champion with pretty much almost every Uma Musume. But that will probably only happen, or it's most likely to happen when I pull on Kita-san Black's banner. The reason for that is because as I pull on that banner, I think you can get every non-spotlight banner, or no, you can get every support card, even if I'm wrong. Basically, you're getting support cards as you're pulling for Kita-san Black anyway. So whatever I'm lacking right now, I'll get in the course of pulling for Kita-san Black, is what I'm trying to say. So that's when this account will be a lot more powerful. So as we let the game rock for the sake of timestamps, because again, my timestamps are split between goals. So that's for you, the viewer, the quality of life of you, the viewer. And I could Aoi here. I guess we'll find out. The fun part is that when you cap your speed, then you don't really need to worry about much else. But we'll do this with training because there are 5 people here, including the headmaster. I was gonna say, oh yeah. So again, there was a point in which I did re-roll once because I was looking at 2 accounts and deciding which one I wanted to take at the very beginning of my global server gameplay. But then I just decided to stick with this one account, and this is all I have. So anything that happens here, I'm not planning to re-roll, even if I don't for some reason get Kita-san Black, because I don't pull that card, and I don't have 30,000 carats, which I think I would. That's why I very specifically did not pull 40 or 50 times. I pulled 30 times just to see, and I guess we're gonna find out if that was a correct thing. Because again, you could probably take cues from the previous servers, Japanese, Chinese, and Taiwanese servers, but obviously I was not that knowledgeable and not that ears to the ground on what was on the release schedules. That way you can know how many carats you can do. Also, Triumphant Pulse, pretty good. From what I hear and read and see anyway. I could just take anything else. We're not a pace chaser anymore. We'll take this. I like to save 300, 400 points, which means I should probably take something else here. I think I'll end up taking just a white stamina if it is available. If not, I'm... guts. Bleh. I actually should look at the thing, but the event, but we'll just sit on the points and see what happens. If I somehow fail this here, I mean, it can happen because my other stats are pretty bad. So if I get blocked, if Sakura Bakushin gets blocked, if weird things happen, if we get a late start plus rush, I guess we're about to find out. Okay, good. By how much? 5 links, so that's not that bad, actually. And I think having 1,000 plus speed really helps out. Because again, as some trainers have mentioned before, and I believe them, so again, this is essentially word of mouth, but I think it's an educated speculation. So if you run as a front runner, say with Sakura Bakshino, you don't have to worry about your other stats because you don't need power to pass anyone. So yeah, you don't need the other stats if you're so far ahead with speed that it doesn't matter. Actually, we can do this. 8%, don't fail. Okay, good. I end up losing the coin flip for the sake of this recording and content. I'll just keep doing 8%, 10%, 20, maybe even 20%, but 20%'s a bit high, so I won't do that, I guess. But yeah, if you're a front runner and your Musume is in the front of the pack, as it turns out, you don't need as much power, even though you are accelerating, and you do want power when you're going on for high-end Sakura Bakshino builds. But yeah, stamina can stay low because you're not expending as much stamina, and even if you run out of, or you're about to run out of stamina, even though that is bad, you should be far enough ahead for it to not matter. Though that's not really the case PvP wise, at least from what I understand. But you don't need as well. You do need wits to proc skills, but then you also don't need as much guts, because if you're going to build guts, you might as well build stamina. Until the mechanics for guts that trainers got in the older servers come to global server, if that makes any sense. So I think the semifinals, right? Yeah. Oh no, qualifier. Never mind. Although you're very likely to win. Again, the whole reason we'll say it one more time, and hopefully I won't need to say it anymore. But yeah, you don't need the other stats. Sakura Bakshino, you just pump speed, and then after that, if you can, pump power, wits if you want to use a bunch of skills, because there is a reason to. If you building a lot of wits apparently is better for your PvP, but again, veteran trainers can correct me if I'm wrong. We need to actually rest here. I could Aoi one more time, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that. So it would be nice. I think it's red skills, but. Would have preferred a Tazuna, but I don't have a Tazuna either. So instead, I don't think. Oh, sprinting gear. We'll pick things up just to try and win. Huge lead, because we should be in a huge lead. It's not going to be the case in PvP most likely, but hey, because I think what I heard was the higher a stat, the higher it has on an effect on your rank, and therefore boosts your team. Now, if you're going for a high grade team, that's great, but if you're actually PvPing with, say, this, you don't do as well, apparently. You want your stats to be more even, although you still want your stat distribution to make sense, like having more speed than stamina and guts for a sprint racer, having more stamina if you're going in long races than likely speed and power, with recovery skills, because you apparently need that as well. Again, I'm saying apparently, and I'm saying seemingly, because I'm not either or I have not confirmed the information, or it's essentially in the end speculation. But it's, again, like I said, it's educated speculation. I trust the sources in which I am essentially relaying or forming my own opinion on. But you know, yeah, this is our last one. We didn't hit 1200 again. I did miss a few trainings and whatnot, and I think I failed a training as well during this question mark, but hey. So at this point, and also not doing Aoi recreations definitely cut in. If I didn't do Aoi recreations, it would have been great. But I needed Aoi to do the thingy, the goal, which I was trying to, which is the primary goal. Again, don't let it be. I always want to repeat this. I think the motto of what I want people to take away from my Musume videos, at least, is that you do things according to what your goals are. So if I needed. And some people might say, well, Jordan, you should have just done 6 speed cards. Trust me, if you saw the list at the very beginning, that was literally what I was trying to do. Then I just decided to change to Aoi because I couldn't guarantee that the other rare speed cards that I had would basically had specialty priority to land along the speed training, which is what you want, which is what you should do if you have essentially the passives of specialty priority high enough to bank on at least 5 supports appearing in a training. In this case, speed. But again, I decided to go with Aoi, and you know what, it worked out. Also, in this case, I did borrow Tokai Teo SSR as well, because the specialty priority here, we can go over it while we're letting the game run. So, specialty priority 25, yeah, it's not high, but it's something at least, as opposed to cards that may not even have it. Like here it's 35, so that's high, but I think that's because that's Silent Suzuka. Silent Suzuka is normally high. Here we don't even have specialty priority on Taiki Shuttle, so shrug. I think Asian Flash has it? Yeah, 20, so there's some there. And then I forgot if the event, yeah, so 30 here. So it's not all high, you're hoping, and that's why, again, if you didn't go over Kita-san Black, one of the most important parts of the Kita-san Black SSR card is that when max limit broken, high, as you max limit break it, or you approach max limit break, the specialty priority goes from 20, which is like meh, to 40 or 60, which is like wow, because that's literally top 3 specialty priorities for speed cards, and then up to 100. Shrug! So, or I think it's like, is it 20, 60, 80, 100? I can take a look, actually. But essentially it goes up to a very, very high amount that no other card can compete with. And in fact, that's why people say that Kita-san Black SSR will hold you for years, essentially, because I don't think... If there are, there's only like 1 or 2, maybe. Again, I don't know for sure, but 100 is a pretty high value for the specialty priority stat, especially among the speed cards we have now. But without further ado, as we look like, okay, I was about to say, we were about to lose to the Spotlight Musume here. Hey, it turns out it works well. Now, are we going to hit 1200 speed? Usually around, if I'm like 75 away, I find myself not hitting it, but I guess we're going to find out, because I wasn't keeping track of my bonds. But I'm assuming that we have the max Headmaster bonds, max Reporter bonds, which I know I don't have both, I'm pretty sure. At max? Yeah. Nothing for the Reporter. Max Director, but again, it's only 15 in every stat. Now, overall, that's pretty big, but hey. And then we have Aoi here, which I don't think we maxed out either. No, so that's 21 so far. And then the end here, which I think it's like 5 for good end. Yeah, so... No! Would still be great to inherit some 3-star. Again, there's a chance, but it's not guaranteed. So, as we close out this here, I think I just might end up taking green skills if we don't have anything. Maneuverability... I should take at least 1 or 2 green skills, though. Homestretch Haste, then yeah, we'll take a green skill. We should probably... I actually wanted to take 2, but we'll do some Spring here. Yeah, we'll do 1. I think the increases are usually around like 20 to 40 in a stat. Or if you're using... Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to look for that Musume's name because I don't remember her name. It's too long for me to remember. If I can't get it in time, so be it, but... I feel like the first 4 syllables are Machikane. I mean, I could just look at the game too. We're sitting literally in front here, but hey. 3-star Turf, 1-star Guts. So this is what I mean by, I think... Again, veteran trainers can correct me if I'm wrong, but for those who are newer, essentially the game just chooses one of your stats randomly and then decides to choose based on your stat how many stars are possible. I think 2 stars is usually always possible, but not at a high amount if you have under 600. Once you have over 600 in the stat, you can get 3-star, and you have a good chance at 2-star. And then after, if you're at 1200 or higher, which I think 1200 is a stat cap for the URA scenario, then you have a 10% chance of getting 3 stars. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. But otherwise, this is why you're going to be grinding the at least scenarios over and over, because you're looking for the inspiration. This is what I call at least mid game for Musume, when you're just doing runs over and over and over again to look for inspiration. Some people might not look upon that well, but I mean, what else would you want? I'm sure there's some ideas to think about, but as we complete this run here, yeah, I just want to know. Actually, aren't I looking at? No, she's not anywhere on the screen. So if I can look here, back to home, and well, yeah, we'll close out this video. I mean, there's another way to call her, but in the game, I think she's called something else. It is Machikane, by the way, unless you want to use Machikane Tannhauser, right? Am I getting that right? Let me actually look. Yeah, that's what it looks like when I look over, but let's get the name right because I'm not cool without it. I'm not a real Musume trainer, but let's go. So I'm just trying to look at the name. But yeah, without further ado, again, as you see my carrot situation, I don't think I'll actually make it. But if we have another event that gives us enough carrots, we will. This is also after looking at all the story stuff, so hey. So Machikane Fukukitaro. And off we go. So yeah, without further ado, hey, we did it here, and let's cash in this thing. And you know what? I'm just gonna pull on it. I don't think, as long as it's not through the scout, I shouldn't need to worry. So guaranteed to make debut, guaranteed SR plus as well. Is it through scout or is it through inventory? I guess we're about to find out. But yeah, I don't think there's any real reason to wait. And if for no other reason than for content, right? So we're just gonna do it. So we're just gonna, yeah, we're gonna do these scouts. So let's find out. I think this is a support card, right? Based on what I saw. Let's find out. Anything I'll probably be able to use, because again, I only did 10 scouts on it, and there's Marvelous Sunday, so you will do our best. It's another wits. I think I have 3 wits at this point, but I guess if I'm gonna do a wits build, fun times ahead. And yeah, again, some people, I don't doubt, I haven't looked at any advice regarding the use of tickets here, so I really hope I'm not just throwing caution, or yeah, basically throwing caution to the wind. That's not the exact phrase that applies, but if there's a reason to save them, yes, there's definitely a reason to save the regular tickets, which I've used one of each, which I shouldn't have done, but shrug. And we'll use this one here as well. Is there another one? No, these are paid carrots. So, off we go. And yeah, I need about 7,500 carrots to 200 exchange. Ow, my arm. 200 exchange into Kitasan Black SSR. If and when that banner comes with appropriate rates and whatnot. Anywho. So without further ado, let's see who we get. There are a couple of animations. All I care about is who's coming here. If I get a copy, I mean, I'm not going to complain either, but hope for the best. Oh, well, this is going to be interesting. Preferably, I don't remember if this is because, but definitely Oguri Cap is very, very, very beloved, basically, both in gameplay and just in general. But as we sit here, yeah, we have something to train at least. I'm still going to be doing my inspiration rotation. I mean, I have enough energy replenishes, and we really should be energy replenishing if nothing else. But I guess that's something to talk about next time. Otherwise, as always, there are other trainers and guides and the community sitting out there. If you want help, they exist. But if nothing else, hey, it's an extra 130 carats for me. But let me just take a quick look. Yeah, so I have like 53 toughness 30s, not a lot. And I actually haven't been that successful, but yeah, without further ado, I'm not going to take up much more of your time. So, yeah, if you want to say anything, if you want to ask any questions, if you want to give me any advice, I mean, my ears are open. Whether or not I'll listen and or apply the knowledge depends, because again, I'll be doing research on my own as well. But yeah, without further ado, we'll just let the end screen here rock for a moment, and I will see you when I see you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!